G'day guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Brownlow Riders podcast, episode 140 I think we're up to now. A lot to talk about today, of course. As of recording of this episode, we have Gather Round tickets going on sale today for members. We'll also be taking a look at some big news regarding the Brownlow in the future, take a look at some updates around the AFL space and much, much more. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Welcome to the Boundary Riders podcast, your one-stop shop for all your AFL content needs. He looks at his options and Jack Ginnivan says, boys, you brought me to the club to do justice! But this guy has flog written all over him.
From a tap down, Reed sprints away from Petrarca, leaves him in his wake, takes a second bounce, takes a third. The sheer arrogance of Harley Reid. Finish the job, young man!
So let's get into the footy news from the week that was. So guys, my brother is with me, of course, through the summer series of the podcast. I keep on forgetting to say that, but anyway. So let's get straight into it, I think. So we've got Gather Round coming up. You've been sending the information regarding it. We've been conveying around all kinds of fucking things because last year was an absolute hassle. So basically, this is a little bit of a guide of what you need to do if you're going to be buying Gather Round tickets today. This is Monday. We release this at, Wednesday, 6:30 we release this. So you got a couple of hours if you will listen to this straight away. But Channel 7 in Adelaide have revealed how it's kind of going to work this year because they've changed a few things around regarding ticketing. So I'll play the clip and then you can say a few words for the episode.
There are new rules and higher prices for anyone wanting tickets to next year's Gather Round.
Gertie Sperling joins us in the studio, and Gertie, members will again be given priority access, but no more free tickets.
That's right, Will. This year members will have 2 priority windows, but will have to fork out for seats for matches their clubs are playing in. From 10 a.m. on Wednesday, they'll be able to secure those seats for $20. Last year, they were free, but there's still no charge for juniors. What's also new this year is a second window allowing members to buy tickets to any of the 9 Gather Round games before anyone else, with the general public getting access from 3 p.m. on Thursday. But general ticket prices are also rising, starting at $40 for adults and $18 for juniors. And with almost every game selling out in previous years, these are shaping up to be the hottest tickets in town. So footy fans will want to have their phones and laptops ready to go and some extra cash, with Gather Round set to be another massive weekend of footy here in SA.
So the basic rundown is that members of clubs can only buy tickets for their games on the Wednesday. So at 10 a.m. Adelaide time, so work it out yourselves, I'm not your mother. So at 10 a.m. Adelaide time, members of clubs can buy Gather Round tickets for their team games, basically. So if you're not a club member, for one, I would say, and you want tickets and you want to pretty much guarantee the fact you want a ticket to your game, I would say probably join up as a member as of recording.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially if you're not at a game at Adelaide Oval, because the tickets will go super quick. They'll be the members for Barossa, the games are going to go like by the end of the first day, basically.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Especially for teams like Sydney and Gold Coast. By the way, let me have a couple of tickets first, and then you can buy whatever the fuck you want. But they're going to go super quick.
Yeah.
And also, I would make it clear as well, I've actually talked to a member person today. This is the Sydney Swans. They did say that some, things like member tickets, you need to get on your member page on whatever app you use, whatever team app. It does take some time to update. So if you are getting your membership today, my advice to you would be that they may not come through straight away, your barcode. So sorry to anyone who works at these clubs who are working in the member help department, but I would say call them and ask about the number, because I think a lot of people are going to struggle to get those member codes if you are purchasing a membership for your team today. Now, you can wait until general admission tickets come in on Thursday at 3 p.m. However, I would be very surprised if there's that many tickets left. I don't think there'll be any tickets available for games in the Barossa or at Norwood Oval. I think you'll be okay at a couple of Adelaide Oval games, especially the ones in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But that Friday night game, the Collingwood one, and the Crows game on Thursday night, and even the Sunday game for Port Adelaide, I think will be sold out.
Yeah, I think
before that point.
The Saturday game will definitely. Saturday games should be okay. You just assume, just because.
Yeah, if you're an Essendon fan, Melbourne fan, I mean, let's be honest, you're not filling up the MCG, so I don't think you're filling up the Adelaide Oval.
Same with Hawthorn and Bulldogs. They're not going to fill out the.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it depends on how Hawthorn and the Bulldogs are going at that point in the season. Well, that early point. So they do also mention the fact that this year, non-club members of teams. So, for example, me, I'm a Sydney Swans fan. I can't buy tickets to the Bulldogs Hawthorn game unless I'm a member of one of those clubs. And look, I want to go to as many games, but I'm not buying a Hawthorn or a Bulldogs membership just to go to that game.
I'll wait another day.
I'll wait another day.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to basically let people who are a member of an AFL club but not a part of the team in question, you can actually buy a ticket 10 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Thursday. So today, Wednesday, only your club membership, you can only buy for that game. Now, I didn't actually hear them say you get one per membership. I don't think they said that. So I'm not too sure if you can buy multiple tickets per membership. So maybe if you do have a mate of yours who is a Geelong fan or something, and you want to go to the Geelong game and he's a Geelong member, maybe you could ask him to buy you an extra ticket. But that's what maybe we will do compared on Sydney and Port games if you're able to buy more than one ticket. But don't quote me on that because I'm not too sure. You may only be able to get one ticket per membership code.
Yeah, I think it might actually depend on the sort of membership you got.
Yeah,
that's what I think it might depend on. But yeah, they seem to be changing it up a lot ticketing wise this year.
Yeah, now I think it is a good change, the fact that they're letting the team club members be able to get first access to their team games. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I think this year, I would struggle to get a Swans ticket. I mean, I think I'm still I'm gonna be there minute one of that queue, hopefully inside the Swans one to get that one done, because I think they're gonna go pretty quickly. But I think there are going to be a lot of teams like the big clubs who are having to play like in the Barossa or whatever. Those tickets are going to sell pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that just make sure you're ready to go, probably around 9:30 half an hour before the tickets go on sale, because it's going to go pretty quickly. So, yeah, basic fact is tickets for members of your team will go on sale 10 p.m. Wednesday or today as of recording. That's Adelaide time. Tickets will go on sale for club members for other games that you want to go to on the Thursday at 10 p.m. and then general admission tickets go on sale at 3 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
But again, like we said, if you want to go to your team game, at the very least, buy your membership tomorrow in the morning. And then if you don't get your membership code, around 10 p.m, I would say call up and ask. Just say, hey, I've not got my gather round information. Can you send something through? And like the guy that I spoke to today was very quick about it, but that was also because it was the day before the gather round stuff. And this stuff, last year we missed out on a few games that we wanted to go to on this day. I think we did okay because they do tend to sell like some games that don't sell out 100%, or tickets can be, I think you can like refund them or give them back basically if you're not going to go. They do something like a couple of months, I think, before gather round comes, that they will resell those tickets. So keep your eye on that if you do miss out. Don't be too discouraged. But those games in the Barossa and Norwood, if that's your team playing there, you want to book in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's the basic information. Yes, they fucked up the fixture. I'm going to say that again. I don't care who the hell you are. They fucked it up. I can't believe they made it so fucking shit. Anyway, let's get into the actual episode and the meat and the potatoes of today's podcast, because we have a little bit to talk about regarding AFL space. So first of all, I wanted to go through some injury concerns, but also some players that are currently training at clubs, trying to get a spot as an SSP player. So not great news on the injury front for a couple of Collingwood players. Darcy Moore has revealed to have underwent post-season shoulder surgery to repair an injury dating back in May. The skipper has done some pre-season training in the Middle East, but hasn't really trained too much as of late, so has a little bit of an injury cloud around him. We saw some information regarding Nick Dacos having some injury concerns over this off-season. Quickly take a look at that one. So Nick Dacos played the preliminary final with a PCL injury and would have typically cost him months in season. Bone stress in the right foot as well. So he will have a slower start to pre-season on this side of Christmas. So not great news, but he does say that he will be confident to play in Origin in February, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard much about Jason Horne-Francis' injury?
No, just I think it's just going to be a delayed start to pre-season, and
should be okay.
Yeah, hoping. really.
Yeah, well, he needs to be one of your players there anyway. Looking at a new draftee for the Bombers in Sullivan Roby. Roby. I think I said it wrong once and someone got fucking angry at me. Has a back concern and is sidelined, having a little bit less stress on his training load until the Christmas break. So not great news there for him, and Essendon in general are in a shambles right now. Have you seen how many injury concerns they've got?
We Nick Martin already, Jordan Ridley, who's already got concerns already. Like, yeah, it's not a great start to their new era in their medical department.
Yeah, I know, it's so bad how it's going at the moment. I'm just trying to find some information regarding all the injury concerns that we've heard from Essendon so far this pre-season. So we've had Nick Martin. This was November, information regarding him slipping at training with the knee reconstruction. Then it was confirmed that he's going to miss the entirety of 2026. So that's really sad news. Archie Perkins has an injury concern regarding his groin. We got Roby as well with the back concern. Jordan Ridley and Kyle Langford all having injury concerns before January. So they're going to come back from the Christmas break. I really don't feel like you're going to get much recovery done during the Christmas break.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some will do their best, but not great. Couple of concerns on the Giants. So Jesse Hogan, Josh Kelly, Darcy Jones, and Brent Daniels all being injured in the latter parts of the season towards this season. So Josh Kelly's expected to miss the majority of the 2026 campaign with his injury. Darcy Jones is more than likely going to miss the entirety of the season after injuring his ACL in the elimination final against Hawthorn. Brent Daniels has had some injury concerns in the past. Had a terrible season with injury in 2025. And Jesse Hogan's also the same. Had a pretty poor run with injury as well. So, not great. And then Sydney... fucking Cal Mills again. Fuck me. Sorry, but it's time to give Errol Goulden the co-captaincy at the very least. I'm sorry, with Cal Mills needs to focus on his health. Fuck me.
He was a pretty durable player until he hit the captaincy. Then he just hasn't been able to stay on the field.
Yeah, so he's been sidelined after suffering a hamstring strain during pre-season training. He was tackled in a contest drill and fell awkwardly. Scans overnight confirmed the minor strain. But I mean, we heard a minor injury to him at the start of last season, just before the start of the season. It didn't come in until about halfway through. So, not good at all. I seriously think, because Sydney, I don't think teams really announced their leadership group until after Christmas.
Yeah.
Very early. So I do think it's time that they split the captaincy role and give it to Errol Goulden. I've said that a few times on the channel. I think that it's time that he gets a little bit more responsibility, but not great news on the Sydney Swans front. I think sometime probably mid-January, I'll probably do a video on the main channel talking about some injury. Like, I think we did it last year, like an update regarding injuries and stuff. So I think we'll probably do that again. That's probably all the injury concerns we have at this stage. Some news on train-on spots. So Hawthorn currently have, I think it's 3 players currently doing train-on spots at the moment. They've got Brodie McLaughlin, who's was listed on the Gold Coast list. He is on Hawthorn's train-on list at the moment. Kicked 67 goals in the VFL last year for Williamstown and actually kicked 4 in the finals. So he's looking to try and get a spot on Hawthorn's list. We've also got Ethan Stanley, who had some time at Fremantle, I believe, in 2023 and 2024. Played a couple of games there. Last year, averaged, 15 touches from 18 games. So he's looking to try and get a spot. And we've also got a Box Hill player and former AFL listed player in the Demons in Kai de Class is at training with Hawthorn as well. So they've got 2 spots at the moment. They've got 3 players training. Now looking at Port Adelaide, we've also seen under 18s midfielder in Blake, far out, what the hell's that name? Odd Sean Benier in Port Adelaide's 4th train-on spot. North Adelaide product competing with Jaden Stevenson, Mitch Zado, and Balin O'Brien. So they've got 2 spots at the moment, 4 players on training. Have you heard much news coming out of Port Adelaide on that front yet?
No, not yet. I think, to be honest, as I said, the last couple of weeks with Jaden Stevenson, I think it should. I think it's his for the running. He'll get one of them, to be honest. Yeah. And it's a wait and see.
Yeah. And then we'll just have to.
And then the other 2.
I mean, it's hard to really tell. Like, unless you're in the 4 walls, it's pretty hard to kind of tell. We did talk about this last week, but Tom McGuan's been seen at training at Adelaide. So he's the father-son prospect, former prospect, I guess, of Collingwood. And they decided to go with someone else. Now, the Bull Ants, young gun in Chris Skerry has today spoken to Code Sports as he pushes for a spot at Fremantle. So he was on the Bull Ants, who have actually been kicked out of the VFL, I think, now.
Yeah.
So I think Sandringham have that spot, and St Kilda
Yeah.
have taken a new team, basically. So the Bull Ants have kind of been kicked out. I think they're trying to push back to try and come back into the VFL in 2027. But also they got Tasmania coming to the VFL this year. So it's going to be tough for them to come in.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. And finally, before we get into the Brownlow news, the draftees, there's been a few, according to, this was gettable on AFL.com, they have put out a list of players that could debut straight away who are pretty much ready to go. So they've gone with Carlton's Harry Dean, Sullivan Roby and Dyson Sharp of the Bombers, Zeke Hewland of the Gold Coast Suns, Xavier Taylor and Latrell Pickett of Melbourne, Lockie Doveston of North Melbourne, Sam Cumming of Richmond, Kai Fincher of St Kilda, Willem Dersmer, of course, of the West Coast Eagles, and Lockie Carmichael of the Dogs. Now, we have to mention that last name quickly. Lockie Carmichael was the Swans Academy player who did not get picked up. And if you haven't seen it, you saw the message, and yeah, fucking hell. It's a bit concerning, I'm going to be honest. Apparently, he was one of the better prospects in the draft. We decided to pass on him, so he got picked up by the Dogs. So, halfback prospect, great user of the footy. Puts out a post saying that he's glad that he joined the Dogs, and in his post of pictures that he put on there, put a little reference to Josh Dunkley getting a premiership medallion at the Dogs.
And wasn't there also a photo of Josh Dunkley in the Swans tee, basically in the academy?
I think there was.
Or that someone said that. It might not have been him, but like in that post. But it was.
It was a little like fuck you to the Swans.
Kind of was, wasn't it?
Yes, and even though I'm a Swans fan, I kind of liked it. I mean, look. He probably was expecting to be picked up by Sydney, and the fact that they said no, look, he's got to prove his worth as well. Like if he comes out and does that and then doesn't perform, he's going to look like an idiot. But if he does what Josh Dunkley did, won a premiership with the Dogs, went on to obviously won a couple at Brisbane. Sydney haven't won a premiership in that time. Yeah. So, if you talk the talk, you walk the walk. I think you got every right to do so. I didn't mind it one bit. It shows a little bit of swagger about him. We didn't actually talk about this a couple of weeks last week, but Lockie Doveston showed a bit of personality after getting drafted to North Melbourne as well. We saw him in the interview talking about Nick Watson and saying, "Is he playing like me?" I'm liking to see a little bit of like personality coming out of these draftees.
Yeah, the last couple years you've seen draftees and other players start to show a bit more personality, which is good to see. And you want them to be themselves. You don't want them to be robots, as we've seen so much of the old brigade do, and be shut down for just showing a little bit of personality. So it's good to see them coming out of the shell in a way.
Yeah, so it's good to see. We want to see players like be themselves, and the celebrations and stuff. And look, I think they do have every right to be criticised if they're not performing on the field.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if they're performing on the field and they're having fun, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
In my eyes, anyway. But let's get to the news regarding the Brownlow. So after it's been at least the last 4 or 5 years, Brownlow-wise, people have been saying that the umpires need to have access to statistics to make an adequate viewing of Brownlow votes. And I think after the last few seasons of how the Brownlows kind of played out, I think they've finally said, all right, we need to make a change here. And finally, it is not confirmed yet, but reports are saying, according to the Herald Sun, that AFL umpires will be able to use statistics to help with their Brownlow voting in 2026.
Yeah.
For a while, I was kind of like, they probably shouldn't, because this award has avoided doing that for a while. But I think it's kind of needed.
I think based on this year's Brownlow Medal vote of the St Kilda Melbourne game, I think it was kind of like you have to give them some sort of view of the game from not just their view.
They've got so much to have to deal with during a game. The last thing they need to be fucking worrying about is the Brownlow votes at the end of the game. They should be like, okay, well, that should be a factor. But looking at the statistics and be like, okay, hang on, maybe Jason Horne-Francis wasn't the best player on the ground after having 13 touches in 2023. I'm sure you remember that as well.
But and maybe in some of Matty Rao's games this year, during the year, some of them he didn't deserve 3.
Yeah,
but like we said when the Brownlow happened, when Wanganeen Malera, you didn't have to to see the stats, to see that he was the best person on that field. In that
He was
game.
the one who, the best and fairest award. You'd think he'd be the best and fairest of that game.
Yeah.
At the very least.
But, I think it's a much needed change, and I'm glad that they seem to be, in a way, listening to the fans in this moment.
I think, even though there have been quite a few, I think there's been a lot of they've been doing some very good things this off season, but they've also been doing a couple of bad things as well. And I think that hopefully at the end of the day, the game's better for it.
Yeah.
I think some of the rule changes that people got up in arms about, because they said there was like 7 new rules or stuff, most of them were just cleaning up old fuck ups.
Yeah, they were just adjustments to it.
Yeah, and I did actually like the majority of them. The fixturing, the gather round fixturing I fucking hated. The rest of the fixture doesn't seem too bad.
They can't get it perfect if there's only going to be there's going to be 18 teams plus 23 rounds. You're not going to be able to get that right. 24 rounds. You're not going to ever get that right.
Yeah, I mean, but they could have made gather round a bit better. I think we can all agree
they
on
gave Port a pretty good fixture, so I'll be happy with that. But
well, I mean, imagine if they don't make finals, or at least don't make wildcard round. That'd be even worse. But overall, I think that's a very good change. And I mean, I don't want it to be that the statistics are dictating what the umpires are giving votes for, but they should at least have that as a guide.
Yeah.
I think at the very least, because I don't want it to be a statistics-based award. I get that some people may say it's going to be hard to kind of police that now, but I do think that overall, looking at statistics will help them out with a lot of especially giving 3 votes to Matt Rao so many times when he just had 10 touches or 15 touches or something. It's do you really think he was the best player on the ground that day?
Yeah,
I don't think he was.
But do you think also it means that the defenders probably will never get the big defenders will never get votes?
Yeah, I mean, if it's based on statistics, probably not. But I mean, I think it's I think the award's kind of seen now as it's a midfielder's
Everybody
award.
knows it's a midfielder's award anyway.
Most of them are anyway.
The only one that that anybody can get is when you see the forward kick 6.
Yeah.
They can maybe pull
Even
out
then,
3.
sometimes they still don't even get it. But then, what was it? I think the AFL were thinking about introducing a defender award or something, and then people were up in arms about that. I think it was Jared Waitley.
Yeah, I still remember that. It's that's because every other sport does it, but his view was that no one does it.
Yeah.
No other sport.
And
does
also,
it.
it's they said that this award we shouldn't just be handing out awards. It's we literally have an award for the best forward in the game with the Coleman Medal. So I think there should be an award for if you can't really get an award for being the best defender now, really. I mean, they're not going to. I mean, they get votes in coaches' votes, but not really every single week.
Yeah.
So I think the coaches' award. It will be interesting to see how next year goes with the Brownlow, because I think the prestige of the Brownlow medal's definitely come off in the last few years. So
they might be able to, it might bring a bit more theatre to it in a way.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, especially with 2 years ago with Patrick Cripps getting 3 votes after 3 votes after 3 votes, and then Matt Rao getting a lot of them this time. Hopefully, it brings back a little bit more prestige to the Brownlow medal, because I think it's about time it does. Because I think a lot of people now see things like the coaches' votes more prestigious and more worthy of an award than the Brownlow. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all we have for the footy this week. Not a lot to go on about. Oh, I guess we talk about one more thing. So we did see in Tasmania, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they had the rally for the no vote for the stadium, and this week Sunday they had the yes rally, and the yes rally seemed to have a lot more support. I think they had about 6,000 people at the rally for the no and 15,000 for the yes. Interesting. I mean, I think it's Friday they do the final vote to see if it's a yes or a no.
Yeah,
it does seem more.
It's definitely this week, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem more and more likely now that the stadium will go ahead. Which I think overall, I mean, this is as an outsider looking in, it seems like it's the right decision, but it still kind of sits with me they could have. It feels like it's a lot. The original estimate for the cost of the stadium was going to be $750 million, and the budget now seems $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
So I can understand why there's a lot of people saying, "How did you get this so wrong? You nearly missed 100% of the money going away.
Yeah.
You've clearly not estimated how good this will go, how much this is going to cost. And you think that, anyway. But overall, I think the stadium is going to go ahead. And I think that it kind of has to at this point.
Yeah, I think it might be, where I'm at on the outside, looking in. But a lot of people that are around Tasmania that want this think that know that it's short pain for big gain, really. So yeah, I think that it'd be huge gain for the Tasmanian government, Tasmania football in general, and these generational kids that are coming through at like 13, 14, 15. When they start seeing the Tasmanian team actually come into the AFL, they've got something to be like, well, you know, I don't need to go to Victoria or somewhere to play my the favourite game. I can play...
Yeah, and I can play in front of my crowd, and I can play in front of a great stadium.
Yeah.
And I think it's also other thing as well is like they can now have like a sports ground there that like people can all come to, like for the cricket. They've already talked about the Hobart Hurricanes playing their games there, and I think Tasmania for the one day is potentially playing there as well. And it also opens up other avenues for like other sports, and then like, you know, international cricket. They can have international sporting events as well.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got other things like music and other things like it could just open it up to, which, I mean, right, I don't know a lot about Tasmanian like infrastructure and things like that, but I think overall it will be the right way moving forward. But I do understand like there is a lot of like there is probably going to be a lot of short-term pain for it. But my understanding is that it looks now that like the stadium will go ahead, is what I think is going to go. I mean, they had 15,000 people there for a rally for like a stadium. So I mean, you'd hope that there'd be more than like 30,000 if they can fill up the ground consistently every 2 weeks for their team.
Yeah,
I think it will in the long run work out very well.
And you just know that they're going to play the big Victorian teams first up in the first like 6 weeks of the season, that the first year they play there. Yeah, because they're going to want like the crowds to be big. Collingwood, Carlton,
oh god, poor Collingwood are going to have to go down to Tassie.
Yeah,
oh, they're going to fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much all the footy stuff we've got to talk about this week. Quick reminder again: tickets on sale for Gather Round today for your team club, your club. Make sure to have your membership stuff ready. Make sure to have your barcode ready, your member barcode. Make sure to get in the queue, I would say at least half an hour before the tickets go on sale. And yeah, just have every single piece of information that you need together. And like, I'm not 100% sure. I think you can buy multiple tickets. But in case but you can't buy for other games that you don't have a membership for. So if you do have a mate that does have a membership with another club, make sure to keep in touch with them, and you should be okay, because it is a bit of a fuck around. And the queues last year were like, I think we got in like 40 minutes before it came on or something, and we nearly missed out on tickets to some games.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're prepared. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the Premier League, because I mean, you want to talk about it this week. The relegation battle.
We're back in the top half.
Oh my god, it's a miracle. The relegation battle for Liverpool, you know, they survive another day. They're so lucky, really. So looking at the Premier League over the weekend, Liverpool won 2-0 over West Ham. The $125 million beanpole in Alexander Isak scored his first goal in Premier League. Fucking, I mean, I'm expecting a golden boot now.
I'm saying we're going to just run the table. We're just going to walk the table all the way
you
up.
run the league at this point.
Yeah.
Looking at the results over the weekend, we had... Stop scrolling. Brentford winning 3-1 over Burnley. Manchester City absolutely scraping through by the skin of their teeth against Leeds with a 3-2 win, with Phil Foden kicking the winner. Sunderland winning 3-2 over Bournemouth. I thought they were kind of going to fall off a little bit, but they've got the good win. They needed to get that win just to get back on track. Newcastle won 4-1 over Everton in a terrible display by Everton. Fulham won 2-1 over Tottenham, just to prove that Ange was the actual hero, and it wasn't Ange that was the problem. It was just Tottenham as a football club,
which every spectator knew.
Yeah,
in Australia,
and they're all calling for Thomas Frank's head now. So I don't know what they're going to do now.
How many managers are they going to go through in this campaign?
Yeah, exactly. Manchester United got a surprise win over Crystal Palace. Aston Villa scraped through with a 1-0 win over Wolverhampton. Brighton won 2-0 over Nottingham Forest, just to prove that Liverpool kind of suck. But they did get back on track, Liverpool, with a 2-0 win over West Ham. Chelsea played out a 1-1 draw against Arsenal as a 10-man team. So I was pretty okay with that. Not great that Moises Caicedo was the red-carded player, though. So did you kind of follow the matchup between him and Declan Rice?
No.
So that's obviously been the big talking point over this season, basically saying that those two are competing to be the best midfielders. in the league right now. And really, I mean, you've got to kind of give it to Declan Rice in this game because Moises Caicedo went off with a red card. But credit to Chelsea where it was due. They got a goal in the 48th minute. Probably should have. It was hard to win the game with what happened, but they kind of got away with it in the end with a 1-1. But Arsenal didn't play as good as what they probably should have, but they sit 5 points clear on top. So
you got to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5 points clear of Manchester City, 25 points. So they're 5 points adrift from top. Chelsea in third spot with the 24 points, along with Aston Villa, who are in red-hot form right now. Brighton sitting in fifth spot at the moment. Sunderland in sixth, equal points with Brighton. Manchester United are in seventh spot. I don't like that.
Well, it's pretty funny. If you look at the table, what is it between second and the bottom
second
half.
and 14th? It's basically 7 points.
Yeah, well, it's basically you lose one. If you drop points, you literally could be out of your. You could either be in Champions League football,
or you could be
European football, or out of it at the moment. So
yeah, if you look
close.
literally between 5 and 15 is a 5 points gap. So it's very close at the moment. Liverpool sitting in 8th spot with a desperate win to knock themselves out of the... I mean, looking at Liverpool, they would have been around 14th. They would have been around 13th spot with a loss, but a win gets them up, then they make that.
Yeah, and
Arnie Slot keeps his job for another day.
Keeps his job for another week. The pressure comes off him.
Yeah, so Arnie Slot, a week ago you were like, oh, it's going to get pretty tentative for him. They lose to PSV, I think it was, in the Champions League.
Ridiculously, how 3-0.
Yeah, that was terrible. At home at Anfield, in front of a cop, not looking great. But then they get this win and they're like, oh, whatever, who cares?
No jokes, but I think giving finally Isak scoring, I think Mai just released a bit of pressure off him because he was a big price forward that we did pick out.
And Verts played a pretty good game on the weekend too. So if they can get a couple of their high price signings, some good games in, hopefully they form, well, for their sake anyway, hopefully for their sake they can start getting their season back on track. Looking at the rest of the table, Crystal Palace are in 9th spot with 20 points. Had a pretty good start to the campaign, but have kind of dropped off in recent times.
I think with their European football, that's going to
a lot of talk about their the fact that they've got to play European football. They look very tired in the second half of that game against Manchester United where they ran over the top of them. So, yeah, that's probably a bit of a concern for them. But Brentford sitting in 10th spot at the moment, and then moving to the second half of the table, Bournemouth have fell off a cliff in recent weeks. They were up in the top 4. I think they were second for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've dropped right off now. They're into 11th spot. Tottenham sitting in 12th. Newcastle 13th. Everton 14th. Fulham 15th. And then we drop down to what's looking like to be the relegation battle at the moment. So we're moving to 16th with Nottingham Forest. They're on 12 points. 17th is West Ham with 11 points. So that's who Liverpool beat, by the way. So let's not act like they're right back in the hunt. But they beat West Ham. Leeds are in 18th with 11 points as well. Both teams are on the same goal difference, West Ham and Leeds United. So not great. Burnley are in 19th with 10 points. And then Wolverhampton still yet to record a win this season. 2 draws sitting in the bottom of the table.
You think they'll get the record? I think the record.
I don't think they will.
I think the record's 10. From Southampton, like in 15, was it 2015?
No, Derby was the
Derby County. That's it. Sorry,
that's the record. But Southampton last season were pretty well close.
They nearly got it. They're
like, oh, we won it, and then they didn't even get it. So fucking losers. But yeah, looking at it right now, Wolverhampton. I mean, they're relegated. Let's be real. I mean, they've got to win 3 games to get out at this rate, and that's their goal difference is atrocious. They need to get 9 goals back plus 3 wins. I mean, they can barely score.
Yeah.
I mean, can you go a half? Can they? Is it like they've got the summer transfer window? Can you give them like a transfer down to the championship? Give them a couple of wins.
Yeah, just give us whoever's top of the championship at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think there are some games coming up tomorrow as well. Quickly look at that. We're going to So I think there are some games in the midweek finally. So getting into a bit of midweek soccer finally. So we've got 1, 2, 3 games on Wednesday morning. So you guys, as you are listening to this, yes, you could watch one of these games. On the Thursday, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And then, Friday, we've got 1 game. And Saturday, we've got a game. So basically, it's just Premier League all the way through the rest. I think it's when they start to pack the games in now.
Is the Christmas festival
of games. So I think that's when they're going to start crowning in some games in once here. So yeah, looking at it right now, I mean, Arsenal lead by 5 points, but that game against Chelsea on the weekend, not ideal. That's when you start to think, oh no, oh no, not again. No,
I'm just waiting for their fans to just be like, we've won the league and won the...
Stay humble. Stay humble. But I mean, right now, there's not really like City, like, yes, they're only 5 points behind, and you know what they can do if they hit, they hit
peak fire.
They hit red hot form, but it's still early. I mean, and like they nearly lost to Leeds last week, and the only way they won was because Phil Foden had a blinder, but Erling Haaland was hardly seen.
Yeah.
So against one of the relegation battled sides, you're down the bottom, you're struggling to win. They're not really at that point at the moment. People will say Chelsea are a chance, but then, I mean, it's still such a team that you can't really trust at the moment. You're Aston Villa, who are probably one of the more formed teams in the league right now. They've won 4 of their past 5 games. Probably they've got the most points out of anyone in the league in the last 5. So, but they had a pretty poor start to the season, so they're going to have to hit. They're 2 wins away from Arsenal, so not a lot. But this next month or so, once we hit January of next year, we'll kind of know who's going to be the contenders. But right now, I think it's out of them 4. I mean, Liverpool are 9 points behind. If they hit form, maybe they can push something. But 9 points behind at this point of the season, with a third of the season gone, I don't think they can get back from there. Not for a championship. I mean, they should be. They can still make Champions League, but yeah. Do you think Liverpool can make a run?
I think as I said, the players gelling together, Isak scoring, Wirtz coming in, performing, you could see us make a charge, but as I said, 9 points clear is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. And finally, we move to the NFL, and I mean, I'm thinking maybe it's time that I just pick a new team. The Falcons suck. They lose to the Jets, bro. I can't do this anymore.
Did you see it?
No,
Did you see the game-winning drive?
No, I didn't want it. I don't think I want to see it.
Nick Folkes, who hasn't missed all year, has it from, I think it was 59 yards. It was between 55 and 60. It was, I think, 57 or 58 yards. And he's literally hit it so low, like, it looked like it was just about to miss it. It was going to go to OT, and he just hits it into the bottom left corner.
I'm super happy for him.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Anyway, looking at the other results on the weekend from the NFL, we've got the Giants losing against the Patriots, who are really setting themselves up for a big season. I mean, they beat the Giants, not a big deal, but whatever. Yeah, Jaguars, good win against the Titans, but again, it's the Titans, who cares? Jets beating the Falcons just to prove that the Falcons absolutely suck. Rams got lost against the Panthers, which isn't ideal for them pushing for the playoffs. Dolphins beating the Saints to keep their faint hopes alive. Buccaneers beating the Cardinals, not a big deal. 49ers beating the Browns, so not really a lot of upsets coming through here. The Seahawks shut out the Vikings, 26-0. Bills beating the Steelers, 26-7. Chargers beating the Raiders, who cares, the Raiders suck. Broncos had to do it tough, getting into OT against the Commanders, but still getting over the line. And Packers beating Lions. Chiefs losing to the Cowboys. The Cowboys keeping their playoffs alive. And the Bengals beating the Ravens, Bears beating the Eagles as well. So the Eagles kind of dropped off in recent weeks or whatever. You're still sitting on the Bills. You've been sitting on the Bills for all of this season.
I think it might come off, to be honest, because if it's not Josh Allen, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And they're on their offensive line. Like, even James Cook's not. Like, if they play against a good rush defense, they're screwed.
Well, we've got how many more weeks? We've got 5 weeks in the season still to go. Chiefs are sitting 2 wins out of the playoffs.
They won't make playoffs. I don't think.
That's a big call.
With their run, they still have the Broncos again.
Do you think they sneak them in just for Taylor Swift? Do you think they sneak them in just something?
I'm surprised they announced who the pre-game Super Bowl was this year, and I'm surprised she didn't put her hand up, because she's not going to be there at all.
It's going to be devastating for their brand.
Yeah.
They're currently sitting 3 spots away, 2 wins outside of a spot. But looking at the Chiefs group or division at the moment, they're sitting in, the Chargers are the ones who are locking them out at the moment. They won't be able to beat the Broncos, who are on a 9-game winning streak. So, I mean, they can't really knock them out. Patriots sitting 11-2. Are we back to the Patriots again? Because I don't want that to happen.
I just want them to play an actual good team.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Because if they can actually perform against a good team, it's like with the Colts. Colts had a pretty easy start to the season, and they played a good couple teams, and they did perform well in them. Now I just want to see them against some good teams, the Patriots.
Yeah, so in the playoff spots for the NFC, we've got the Bears up top with the Rams, who had a bad loss on the weekend. The Eagles have dropped off in recent weeks, and they've dropped to third in the playoff spots, but with the last 2 losses, but they're okay. Buccaneers sitting in 4th spot because of their division, because it's absolutely horrible. I think they've got the Panthers chasing them, though, so they're going to have to be careful about that. Seahawks sitting in a wildcard spot along with the Packers and the 49ers. And then moving outside of the wildcard spots, we've got the Lions, the Cowboys, who are pretty close, and the Panthers are the ones who are fighting for a wildcard spot at the moment. From there, it kind of drops off. You've got the Falcons, who are abysmal, the Vikings, who are abysmal, the Cardinals, who have been eliminated, the Commanders, who just put an E next to them.
You might as well,
they're gone.
yeah.
And then the Saints and the Giants. On the AFC side, we've got the Patriots up the top with 11-2, looking the best out of any team in the NFL this season. Broncos 10-2, so just with a game in hand. Jaguars with the 8-4, Ravens 6-6, and then we move down to the wild card spots in the AFC. You got the Chargers, the Colts, and the Bills all 8-4. Now, looking at teams that are fighting to try and get into the playoffs, you got the Texans 7-5, then the Steelers are 6-6 along with the Chiefs. The Dolphins are there, but they've won their last 3, so they're making a bit of a late charge. But other than that, that's where the Dolphins are sitting at right now, and then everyone below them's kind of out of it. I'm kind of looking at it.
The thing is, like you look at the Bengals at 4-8, they had a good win on the weekend, and with Joe Burrow back, but they're just too far back. Even if they win their last 5, they've got to go.
I mean, to be fair, they've got they're in the AFC North, and the top team is the Ravens with 6-6, so they could still make a run.
That's their only hope is to beat over the Ravens, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, the Ravens in the last 5 have won 4-1, so they're looking okay. Are you still on the Bills?
No, I don't. Like I said, I think with it only being Josh Allen, they can't do anything, and I think it's such an open one this year. To be honest, I can't really tell you who's a big front runner. To be honest, it's probably the Rams.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And they lost on the weekend too.
Yeah, but I think they're still the best performing team over the course of the season. That I can trust. Like the Bears.
It may just be purely on momentum going into the playoffs this time.
I think it is, because the Bears, they look good, but I just think with Caleb Williams, can you trust him to go all the way through the Super Bowl? Same with Bo Nix or Drake May for the Patriots and Broncos. They're in their 2nd and 3rd years. It's like,
can they hit it on the big stage?
I don't think they could, and Matthew Stafford could. He's done it before.
Yeah,
and
he's been doing it for a long time. So maybe it is the Rams. They are coming in next year. Maybe they're just going to do it. Just bring back show us the Super Bowl rings here at the MCG. Maybe that'd be nice to see. I'll go with the Rams for now. I think I'll be saying the Eagles a little bit, but they've lost their last 2 and haven't looked great.
No.
Anyway, that's pretty much all we've got for this episode of the Boundary Riders podcast, guys. Episode 140. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We've actually been getting quite a lot of listens on YouTube. So thank you guys for the support, especially in this off-season of the footy. So if you did enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe over on YouTube. And over on Spotify, make sure to leave us 5 stars and make sure to follow so you're notified on the podcast every single week. Also, make sure to follow us over on Instagram. We've been making posts like graphics for the channel for like our predictions for this season for the AFL. So if you do like that sort of stuff and, can't be bothered watching the videos, like for our prediction videos, make sure to check that out over there so you can keep up to date with all the predictions and all that sort of stuff. But again, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you all next week.
See you later, guys.